going to watch a video of I was abducted this morning. And I just want to see maybe he's going to give me some tips on how I could be abducted because I've been waiting a long time.
All right.
So we're waiting for the video.
Okay. And here we go. I'm going to start it. And let's just get this party started.
What exactly happened when you were abducted by aliens all that time ago?
Yeah.
Well, we were going fishing. We had got off work at the shipyard that evening, and a friend of mine
I don't fish.
and I decided to go fishing. So while we were fishing, we seen some blue hazy lights out across the water, but they was reflecting from behind us. So when I stood up and turned around, then I noticed, I thought it was a law to start with, going to tell us to move.
I can't understand
But
him.
I noticed that it was a real bright light all at one time, and that's when the craft opened up, the door on the craft opened up, and it was just really bright lights coming out. And that's when three, I call them aliens or beings of some kind, come out of the craft. Two of them got a hold of Charlie, myself. The craft was probably 300 yards away from us, or a football field.
Oh, I was going to say.
And they floated over. They didn't walk. They floated.
They floated
and
on
two
the
of them got a
water.
hold of Charlie, and one of them got a hold of myself. So when they
Charlie?
did,
Who's
it was
Charlie?
like I
Did
was
Charlie
scared.
make
I
it?
was hunting a place to run, but it was nowhere to run. There was water in the front, water on the
'Cause
side.
you're on the water.
But immediately when they got a hold of us, I felt a little sharp something, and they must have gave me a shot to relax me. So they took us
I need one of
and
those
floated
every
us
night.
back aboard the craft. So
Did it
when we got
work?
on the craft,
They should market
I went
that.
in one direction. I didn't see Charlie anymore since then. I turned to look for him, but he was just gone. And they took me to the left of the craft, took me in a little room, and they put me on what I call a table, but I never felt the table behind me, but I was laying about a 45-degree angle.
He's very accurate with
there
the
was a
300
thing
foot
that
and
come out of the
16
ceiling,
feet and the 45-degree
or
angle.
it was just really floating, and it started circling my head. It was about the size of a deck of cards, but it was going click,
He's
click,
like the size
click,
of a
click
deck of
about 4
cards.
times. And I figured it was kind of like an MRI or something,
Right.
thinking about it later. I didn't know what one was back then. But, and then this big ugly creature that brought me in, he left out.
Named Ted.
So when he left, automatically, I never seen a door open or anything, but this
It must have been terrifying.
feminine-looking creature
Calvin,
came
sorry.
in.
We have to stop you for a second because this must have been absolutely terrifying.
He's very calm.
I mean, you're in a UFO
He's very calm.
with
I'm flipping out.
aliens,
Sorry.
and what are they doing to you? They're sort of
cares?
giving you an MRI and examination. That's what you thought was happening.
That's what I thought at the time, and yeah,
Like,
it was
do you
really
take my
terrifying.
insurance?
But I was real relaxed about the whole deal when it was going on, because I think, later on they seen a mark on my arm, and I think that was kind of an injection site where they might have gave me something to settle me down.
Did they speak to you at all in any language or
Any noises? Any?
Well, they did have kind of a hissing noise, and then the big ugly creature, what I call him, left out. There was more of a feminine creature come in, and she just looked at me, but I knew, for some reason, I knew what she was saying.
Because
And
it was all on the mind.
she said, don't worry about it. I thought,
So she actually
don't do no
spoke to
good to
you.
worry about it.
I flip out
She
more
actually
about
said
the
those
toilet
No,
words.
she
before.
didn't speak. She communicated through, I call it mental telepathy.
Right.
and then,
So,
then you were
But I was thinking to myself
He's still
while I
on
was,
the medication that they gave him.
and then you were dropped back onto Earth again. You were taken out of the ship and put back in your
Do
boat.
these
Is that what
people
happened?
believe him?
no, we wasn't in a boat. We was standing on a old metal pier at the Shaw Peter
I
shipyard.
believe him. I'm saying
The old shipyard had been abandoned for a long time, and it had growed up. And after she got through with her examination and all, the other creature came back in and levitated us and took us out to exactly the same spot where we were, and set me facing the water. And my arms was outstretched, and I really was still kind of dazed. I couldn't move. And then that's when I heard the friend that I was with, Charlie, said, Calvin, you okay?
Oh, Charlie.
And I thought, no, I'm not okay.
And then, Calvin, did you go to the police?
But,
what was their reaction when you went to the police to tell them what had happened to you?
We did. We called the police from a payphone at a store, and they come to check us to see, make sure that we wasn't drinking so we could drive. They said, stay right there. They gave us a sobriety test, and they took us, told me just to follow them to the sheriff department. So we did, and they separated us, put us in different rooms, and interrogated us. Then they put us back in the same room together, and that's when they made the tape. I didn't know they was taping, or Charlie didn't. We didn't find this out till later. But they had made a tape on us.
And it's taken you. Sorry to interrupt, but you finally put pen to paper, haven't you? And it's taken, what, 45 years for you to sit down and actually write the story?
Yes, sir. And I really didn't want to write it then, but I felt like I needed to. My wife and Philip, the publisher of the book, had talked to me. The press had been wearing me so much, and they never got the story straight, what I wanted. So that's like the Philip,
like so random.
With the flying disc said, the publisher said that if you document it and put everything in paper and write it, then they can't change your words. They're there.
What do you say to people?
Before, I just tell them what they want to hear.
What do you say to people who don't actually believe your story?
Oh, it don't matter to me. It's their opinion, but I don't. It would be hard for me not to believe that there's life on other planets if I was somewhere else.
And also, when you let's pause this and talk about this for a second. When you have some real truth happen to you, like when something really happened to you, it doesn't matter if people believe you or not.
It's your truth,
right? Like it doesn't matter if people believe you. So he goes, I don't really care what you guys say. This happened. I'm letting you know what happened.
He's just sharing it with us.
And
I think that's, I liked him.
I liked him too. I totally believe him. We should tell them, we'll tell them another day about our little sighting that we saw in the 80s in Astoria. But like, to me, I like that solidified the whole thing to me, is when he goes, I really don't care what you guys think. This is what happened. But what I think I feel bad for him about is after a while, you telling over and over again your friends, your family, your cousins, your buddies at the bar, and then when people maybe laugh at you and don't believe you, that has to weigh heavy on you after a while.
He's a grown man, though. He's
a grown man. I know, it's true. He's a grown man. But that must be hard to not, like I'm very open-minded, and it's because she's my mother. I'm very open-minded. I was thinking, I went to the movies the other day, and I saw The Darkest Minds with my daughter. And it was this whole story about how people were born with power. So you were either, green meant you're very, very smart. Yellow meant you were able to lift things telepathically, whatever. Everybody was born with something differently. And I thought to myself, I said, if this happened tomorrow, like if someone told me, every newborn is born with something, I would believe it. Like I wouldn't even question it, because that's how I am. I'm very open-minded. I said I would believe this. Like if someone questioned, I would not even question it. I would just believe it. And so like stories like this, if someone really looked at me and said, "This happened to me," I would be like, "Cool, good for you. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing your story to me." Because I don't know what don't we know.
Where were you? What were you doing?
Right,
that's
like what don't we know?
Because I'm always looking.
And also, we're so, how close-minded of us to think that we know everything is also the other side of the coin. We don't know anything.
We forgot. There are things that the world has forgotten. So much knowledge there was. Yeah. We're not the first ones here.
We don't know anything. We don't even know anything about this planet. Forget about the universe. We don't know everything about what the planet has to offer.
We're from outer space.
We are from outer space. We live in outer space.
Right.
That's funny.
Think about it. We live in outer space.
We do. I mean, we literally do.
Love it.
All right, so I'm glad we saw his little story.
Yeah, I liked it.
That was a good story.
Thank you, mister.
If you guys have any links that you'd like to share, leave them in comments below so we can check them out and do reactions on those as well. Until next time.